All right, welcome back to day 20 of the 60 Days to Automate Challenge. And today we're going to be talking about AI coaching and improvement. So, how can you use AI to analyze all your past meetings, your emails, and really provide you unbiased advice on how you can improve? So imagine having a digital assistant that can just offer you straightforward, constructive feedback that is consistently helping you to improve, stay on track, and find where bottlenecks are. That's what we're going to be talking about today, and how you can use AI, Airtable, and Innate to create a sales coach. Or just really a coach. So this week we've been focused on sales automations. So on day 16, we conducted prospect research with using the web tool in Answer.ai with Exa Search AI. We also set up a little mini CRM and showed how you can hook up Answer.ai and create leads from chatbots instead of forms on day 17. Then on day 18, we learned how we can create personalized emails that really resonate based off of the research that you're conducting on your companies and your leads, as well as all of the information that you have about past conversations in the CRM. And then we talked about yesterday how you can build personalized sales proposals based off of transcripts and what they originally came in from, what ad or what chatbot lead they may have came in from, and create a Google slide deck in your brand, in your template, that's ready to go to get that out to your client ASAP. And today we're going to be talking about how you can use this for sales coaching and improvement. And really, our goal is to create unbiased opinion to analyze your meetings and emails. And we're going to be creating an optimizer for email that can analyze all of our past emails and look for different opportunities to find out, which emails are closing and which ones are not. Then we're going to be working through with meeting analysis. So we are going to show how we can start tracking all of our meetings in Airtable, and then use it to create processes that we'll go over. And in this case, we're going to look for action items, any coaching opportunities, things like that. And a lot of different meetings, from internal one-on-ones to team meetings to external sales meetings. And then we're going to be talking about strategic summaries and how you can use this information that you're getting from each of your meetings, your emails, how your company's doing. You can then create quarterly, monthly summaries so that you can continue to improve and get better as a company. So the first exercise we're going to jump in today is analyzing meeting transcripts. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating an Airtable table to organize and track the different emails performance. Now, I know that if you were setting this up in a larger business or a business other than yourself, you'd probably not want to use Airtable for this. You'll get lots and lots of emails and it will become slow over time. But if you're using this for your own personal usage, Airtable is a great way to get started and get set up. If you want to both for tracking your emails and also your meeting transcripts. For instance, we use Superbase, which if you want me to do a lesson on how to hook up Superbase, please leave that in the comments below. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to identify some patterns of what were successful versus what were some underperforming ones. And then we're also going to use those insights to use it in our later exercise where we can create strategic advice on how to get better and use that to improve our prompts as well if we're using, for instance, the prompt sequences from earlier this week. All right, so let's jump in. So one of the things that I had to do in order to even prepare for this demo is I had to create a bunch of what we call synthetic data. So synthetic data is really just data. It's really just responses. So you're pretty much creating mock information. So what I'm going to show you is kind of the prompt, and I'll leave this in, and you can get all of these in Airtable, and Answer.ai / Flowwise. You can get all of these workflows at digitalatscale.com. And I'm going to create a whole one on how to create synthetic data for testing. But for this one, I realized I had to create some. So what I created was a prompt that says you were tasked with creating a 10-minute transcript with timestamps for a meeting at TravelSmart AI, a company specializing in AI-powered travel solutions. And your goal is to generate a realistic and detailed transcript that reflects the type of the meeting specified. Now, I'm not going to go through all this, but basically we've learned how we do a lot of these things. Here's the company overview. It's essentially pulling in the document that we've been using. But I had to create this because, well, TravelSmart AI is not a real company yet. So in order to showcase this, I had to create a bunch of fake data. So here I'm just creating, so then I'm storing that in this Airtable that I set up. So here I'm storing the dates, the types of meetings, some attendees, both internal and external. Oh, sorry, that was the transcripts. That'll be the next one. So here's some of the emails. So the date, the subject line, so we can evaluate that. We have the recipients here, so just kind of some fake recipients, and then an email thread. So here I can just simply just go in here, and right now I'm creating emails. Having a little bit of trouble with this. As you can see, I can just create a bunch of different test emails. And this is just going to go in there. This is really useful when you're trying to create automations to account for specific workflows, specific types of content, to be able to identify it, to see how well your prompts are doing. The ability to do synthetic data like this is really important. This is kind of a rudimentary way of doing this, but it works. So now that we have a bunch of emails, as you can see, it's creating. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Well, let's let it go. What we're going to do is we're going to create an automation that will loop through all of these and give us some advice. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop this, and I'm going to add a field here called AI analysis. And this is the long text, so this is, we're going to go ahead and create that. What we're going to do is we're going to create an automation that will loop through all these, and based off a particular set of analysis, we'll put that in here. And the reason we're doing this is because one of the things that you want to do is ensure that the content that is in here is correct, and that you can, well, one, that it's correct, but also you want it to be very succinct and summarized. That's the most important thing, because when we create these larger reports and summaries, it's going to be really important that it has just the things that you care about, just the things that it's looking for, action items or feedback. That way you don't run into token limits. So what I'm going to do is go back over here to the home. We're going to create a new workflow in N8N, and we're going to say add. And for right now, I'm just going to trigger this manually. I'm going to hit the plus. We are going to use our Airtable node and hit plus. We're going to go ahead and search for records, and we're going to choose our base TravelSmart AI. Then from the tables, we're going to choose emails, and we're going to go ahead and return all. Once again, we don't have a lot here. And also to if you go back to day 6, that's where we talk about how you can start tracking your emails. Since this is the email that I used to set that up, didn't have any data. That's why I used the synthetic data. But in day 6, we did talk about how you can start tracking and sending emails in there. All right, so now we have these 16 items. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an LLM node. or LLM chain. And for the prompt, I'm going to define it here in this expression. And for this prompt, I have a few different prompts in here that I'm going to be using. All right. So here, let me just zoom in here so I can go over what this prompt says. All right. So this says you are tasked, let me see. You are tasked with evaluating the communication style in an email exchange and providing feedback on how to enhance clarity and engagement for improved outcomes. This task is crucial for improving professional communication and achieving better results in workplace interactions. First, carefully read the following email exchange. Analyze the communication style in this email exchange, focusing on the following aspects. How clear and concise is the language used? Tone, structure, engagement, professionalism. And for each aspect, please provide specific feedback and suggestions for improvement. As you can go see here, you can go through, and this is where you can really, these are just basic things, and this is where it's very personal to you. What are the things you're looking for? Are you trying to include open rate? Are you trying to include how many people said yes to a meeting? Are you trying to include whatever that is? You can edit your prompt. So I'll add this prompt template at digitalatscale.com. But for this, since I know that this is a sales email, I'm going to add a sixth one. Meeting success. Did the email thread result in a meeting? And this is where you can start to then evaluate, because if you're doing any sort of cold outbound or even just any sort of outbound emails, your main goal is to just get the meeting with them. And that's where you can evaluate your team, your AI agents on how successful they are and some ways to improve it. So I'm just going to add that meeting success. Let's see. All right. In this, I'm just putting here meeting success and whether or not your evaluation if the thread ended in a meeting with the sales executive. So what we now have here, I'm going to remove this chat. So just to recap, we have hooked up our Airtable, which contains our date, our subject line, the recipients, the email thread, and the AI analysis. We now have this basic LLM chain. Now what we need to do is we need to replace this email exchange with the correct information. And what I like to do here is add a little bit of dates. Here we go. Subject. Let's add so it kind of looks like an email here as we're getting this information. If you're getting it from Gmail, I think some of this might be included in the body, but I actually know it's not. All right. So now we have, so for instance here, the date, the subject, follow up on executive travel solutions, the recipients, and then this mock thread that we created with our synthetic data loader. So now that we have this, I'm just going to go ahead and say test this step. And we have an error. A module subnode must be connected. We forgot to add our model. For this one, I'm going to use OpenAI for the chat model. And we're going to use GPT-4o Mini. All right. So now let's test that again. So now it's taking that one in and it's evaluating it and it's giving us our feedback. All right. So it looks like it's hung up here. Let's see what is going on here. Let's stop, save. Let's hit the play button here so it gets these 16. Sometimes you just got to replay it. Let's hit play again, see if it hits it. And then what we're going to add here while we're waiting on that is we're going to add our Airtable node and we're going to do a create or update record. So here we have our create personal access token resource. And from the list, we're going to go in and add our base Travel Smart AI. We're going to add our emails. And for ID, all right, something is happening with N8N. It won't execute this node. All right, so since it won't do that, let's stop this and see if it gives us an error. We're going to look at the logs here. So what I'm trying to see here is what is going on. I see. Here's a quick tip. So one of the things that this is trying to do is it's trying to do all 16 of these. That's why it was taking so long. It wasn't hanging up. It was actually doing that, but because it's trying to do all 6 of these. So instead of doing that, what I like doing whenever I grab a big group like this, I always like to add a loop. The reason being is because I want it to do one at a time, and that's how you get it to do that. You create this loop item, and basically what you do is you put it right in between here, and then there's 2 areas for this loop. There's the done and there's the loop. And you just drag this loop into here. When it's done, you can have it do something else. So for instance, this is also for if you ever have an automation that you wanted to do something a bunch of times, and then when it's done, continue on to another thing, you could use one of these as well. But here I can have it do so many at a time to help improve it, the speed, things like that. And what we're going to do is then take this and drag it over here. So that way it loops, it does the basic LLM chain, and then it will upsert the item. So let's go ahead and replay this. So we're going to hit play. See how it says 16 items here? Now we're going to go ahead and hit play here. Now we're just doing 1 item, not all 16. So that's why it was taking so long. All right, now we hit play. Now it should take a lot less time. All right, there we go. We have that. So that's why we do it live, is to highlight some of these tips and best practices that I use every day. All right. So now that we have the output of this, what I want to do is move this over. All right. So we're going to update based off of the ID. The ID to match is going to come from Airtable. We're going to update the exact same one that came in. We're not going to update anything else. No, we're not going to update the date, the subject line, the recipients, or the email thread. All we're going to do is we're going to add the AI analysis. And we're just going to take this text module here for basic LLM chain, and we're going to drag that right over there for the AI analysis. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and test this step. Oh, looks like, see, this is one of the little tricks too. It can't figure out when it was, so you just have to go back here, hit play, do them one at a time. It'll do that. Then we have one here. That's going to analyze this. All right. And now we have our 1 item. Now let's go ahead and hit play, see if it, oh, it didn't do it. Can't get it. So it couldn't get the ID using, oh wow. It's the same thing. I think it's just one of those things. This is where I think the testing, this is one of the things I don't like about N8N is this kind of weird testing mechanism. If anyone has any tips on that, please leave them in the comments. But the only thing I've figured out is to just hit text workflow and then have it, because watch, it'll go through and it'll probably update. See, there it is. We have our analysis for this one. And now it's going to go through and it's going to analyze all of our emails. So let's take a look at what's in this analysis as it works. So we're going to open it up here. So clarity, the email is generally clear, but it could benefit from more specific examples and data to enhance understanding. For instance, when referring to the personalized itinerary feature in real-time travel assistance, providing a brief example of what that entails can help the recipient picture the value of the offerings to improve clarity. Bradley could include a brief description, simplification, such as our premium services, and might be rephrased, which might be rephrased to experience our premium services in action. So giving some examples, giving some feedback and some different examples. It does the same thing with tone. It employs polite expressions like, I hope this message finds you well and thank you for considering. Nonetheless, incorporating a slightly more enthusiastic tone regarding the prospective collaboration could enhance engagement. Once again, this is really around your personality, and I think that this is where we'll be talking about next week in advanced marketing, how you can really get these to really follow your tone. Do you use exclamation points? Do you not? Are you really the type of person that would be like, I'm excited to help streamline your executives travel, or like, hey, I hope you're doing well. So really, this is where you can have your personality give you feedback on how you want to come across. So structure, we have the engagement here for how I encourage engagement. He could strengthen his call to action by being more specific about the next steps. For example, suggesting 2 specific time slots for a meeting could facilitate a quicker response instead of, please let me know your availability. This is actually really good feedback. I think that's really, let me know your availability, or this. Hey, I'm available on Monday at 2, or give them 2. Which one of these works better for you? That's much better. Give them 2 options, both of which you're happy with. Professionalism, using formality, since this is eager to collaborate. Sometimes it's funny too, because for instance, it said in the joy or in the tone, it could be more, was it the tone? Yeah, it could be more exciting. But here in the professionalism, tone it down. What does it say here? It says, additionally, removing phrases like eager to collaborate can maintain professionalism while still expressing enthusiasm. So sometimes it's kind of contradictory to itself. Meeting success. The email does not indicate whether it resulted in a meeting. Bradley's follow-up on the discussion and proposal for a trial period suggests an intent to keep the conversation flowing to enhance the likelihood of setting a meeting, explicitly requesting confirmation or offering specific time slots, as mentioned earlier, could prove beneficial. So once again, hey, they ghosted you. This also allows you to, by sending them specific dates, hey, I know we missed those 2 dates. What about these 2 dates? Very quick, very easy. So now it has given me that type of analysis on every single one of these emails. So imagine if you had that type of analysis on every single email or communication you ever sent. Well, now you do. All right, next we're gonna analyze meeting transcripts. So we're gonna go in here and we're going to get honest and just candid feedback about how you can refine your pitch, how your communication style is for better engagement. So we're gonna set up an Airtable to be able to track and store meeting discussions. We're going to set it up so that it can highlight any sort of feedback, any sort of action items, next steps, those types of things. And we're also going to summarize it just like we did in the emails so that you can improve how you sell your product, have one-on-ones, and team meetings. All right. So in our Airtable, just like I did with the emails, I created a synthetic data in the synthetic data workflow. Once again, I would hook this up normally to my Zoom or my or wherever my transcripts are being created. There's a ton of services out there like Otter.ai, Zoom, and Teams have it kind of built in as well. So once you have that hooked up, or if you just put them in there manually, what you can do is you can follow this workflow. I'll be making a video later in this about how you can directly hook it up to things like Zoom and Meeting in week 11 when we talk about more enterprise hookups. So here we go. You are tasked with creating a 10-minute mock transcript with timestamps for a meeting at Travel Smart AI, a company specializing in AI-powered travel solutions. And your goal is to generate a realistic and detailed transcript that reflects the type of meeting specified. And I go through here and I have a JSON object with the meeting date, a summary, the attendees, the transcript, and I also had it vary between different types of meetings, between one-on-ones, team meetings, and sales meetings. And here, the only thing is that I want to incorporate realistic dialogue. And also, given that this will be used for coaching, I want you to intentionally add dialogue that can provide feedback. For Bradley at Travel Smart. Here we go. Yes. So we're doing one-on-one type meetings, sales meetings, and team meetings. So what I did was ran this, and it created 10 transcripts that we're going to now write an AI job, very similar to what we just did with the emails to summarize these. So if I go back over to our day 20, and I'm going to just copy this, paste it, and bring it down here. And I'm going to remove you and bring the automatic click when testing or test workflow clicker for the manual test down here and hook it up. So we're going to change which records we're going to get. So instead of emails, we're just changing it over to meeting transcripts. And then let's go ahead and test that. All right, we're getting our meeting transcripts. Go ahead and send the one through. And then here we're going to update our prompts. So here I have this prompt right here. All right. You are an AI assistant tasked with summarizing meeting transcripts and providing valuable insights. Your goal is to extract key information and present it in a clear, structured format. Follow these instructions. Carefully read and analyze the following meeting transcript. So for that, we're going to wrap it in these so that, remember, we want to separate our context from our instructions. So that's a good way to do it by putting these less than and equal signs around any information. And then the closing one always has that / there. Then we have our transcript. All right. And now what we want to do is take note of the type of meeting this is. And we're going to get the meeting type from this right here. And I'm going to go ahead and add as well the dates. And I'm going to go ahead and add the attendees as well. All right. So here we're going to identify the key discussion points from the transcript. Pay attention to main topics, reoccurring themes, and significant issues raised during the meeting. Extract all action items and tasks assigned during the meeting. Note who is responsible for each task and any deadlines mentioned. Highlight any important decisions made during that meeting. And based on the meeting type and the content of the transcript, provide suggestions for coaching and improvement in communication. Consider aspects such as participation, clarity of communication, time management, and meeting effectiveness. If this is a sales meeting, determine whether the deal was closed or not. If applicable, note any next steps in the sales process. Summarize your analysis in a structured format using the following tags. And I pretty much give it a format that I wanted in. And now we can update our Airtable. So we're going to update our meeting transcripts. And we're still going to use the ID, but we're going to have to update these two items. We probably won't have to update the AI analysis because I believe that will be the same thing, but I don't believe this is Airtable 2. Oh, no, it is Airtable 2. This might actually work. Well, let's go ahead and just test it. We'll do it live. Let's see what happens here. Oh, all right. Let's see what got output. All right, so we got the analysis, but why did this fail? Oh, unknown field AI analysis. We forgot to add the AI analysis field to our meeting transcript. So let's go in here, AI. All right, and we're going to make this a long text field. Create that field, and we're good to go. And for this, I'm going to go ahead, all right, and we're going to test this time. Oh. We got that same loop error. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit test workflow again. It's going to go through and it should update the Airtable. And it did, it looked like. Excellent. So now we have this analysis. Now we can look at this analysis. Let's zoom in here, take a look. All right. So this was this one that we're looking at is a one-on-one with Bradley and Sarah Jones of Travel Smart, and let's take a look at it. So, key points: review of Bradley's performance over the last quarter, positive feedback on the luxury travel itineraries project, especially the use of AI, recommendation to explore user-generated content for itineraries, need for improved communication with the team during project rollouts. What happened there? Development of structured updates with the team during project handovers. Goals for the next quarter focused on increasing brand visibility through social media and solidifying partnerships with local businesses, and agreement to launch a social media campaign by the end of the quarter. Wow, they're taking on a lot. All right, so here we go. Bradley was to implement bi-weekly check-ins and to prioritize the campaign by the end of the quarter. Decisions. Coaching suggestions. We want to encourage Bradley to enhance participation during team meetings to ensure everyone is on the same page. Suggest providing clear, more structured communication during project rollouts to avoid team confusion. And recommend time management strategies for maintaining regular updates. Consider using visual aids or shared documents for clear communication of updates and project statuses. So here we had, I think this was not a sales meeting. All right. So here it has gone through and created analysis of every single one of our meetings. What was said, what was done. This is going to be invaluable information. This has been so key to a lot of my business's success over the last couple of years, is to really look at this, not have recency biased, have more structured one-on-ones, stay on task just from using AI to analyze, summarize, and create action items. Excellent. So now that we have these meeting transcripts and we also have the email analysis, we want to improve over time. So what can we find? Not from an individual meeting, not from an individual email, but how are we doing as a business? And what we're going to do is we're going to create a workflow that will aggregate and summarize all of the AI analysis and put it into a really concise brief so that I can, as a leader, look at different areas. I can look at, I can get feedback on how, in this case, all of this has been around Bradley. So how, if I was going to have a one-on-one with Bradley, then what would that look like? So it can help us to detect any of these reoccurring issues and common threads so that we can address them in strategic planning. So let's jump in and see how we do that. So now that we have all of this information here, we have the AI analysis for our meeting transcripts. We also have our AI analysis for our emails, which we just did in our last two exercises. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create another loop. I think you're going to see where I'm going with this. If you follow the last two, we're going to copy this over or save this. All right. And we're going to essentially just copy that exact same model. These 4 nodes are probably 4 of my most used nodes between querying something in Airtable, some big data set, running some sort of prompt on it, and updating it so that I can continue to improve and get better. All right. So in this case, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be getting both of the, we're going to expand on this a little bit. We're going to be getting both the meeting transcripts, but we're also going to be getting the AI, we're going to be getting the AI analysis of the meeting transcripts and the AI analysis of the emails. So to do that, we're going to come in and we're going to do the meeting transcripts. But for this, I don't need all of the information. I just want the AI analysis. I don't need the full transcript. I don't need the full item. So here I'm going to add an option, and I'm going to say output fields. This is really important. We've already done the summary, the analysis. It's usually good to get in a habit of having some sort of review plan, which we'll go over in a later session. so that when a meeting happens, when some email is analyzed, that you have a way of going through and ensuring that this source data is correct. Because if you get a report based off of incorrect data, well, your report's not correct, and well. All right, so we do want the date of it. We want the type of meeting it was. I do want the attendees, and I just want the AI analysis. So we're going to test this, and it's going to return just the AI analysis, so that way we can get a lot of information in there. In this case, we're doing an entire month's worth of information. But we're not just going to get all of those meetings. We're also going to get, well, before we get the emails, what I'm going to do is I'm going to consolidate this. It's combine or aggregate. All right, and what this does, and what I'm going to say is I'm going to just, hey, all these items into a single list. What this does is it grabs 16 items. It's just going to put this into one item so that it just runs it one time. So it puts this into one giant item that I can then add to my AI prompt. Great. Now that we have that, now we're going to go and we're going to get the Airtable. And we're going to say search records. And here we're going to choose our good old Travel Smart AI. And we're going to choose our emails. And we're going to do the same thing here where we're going to go and we're going to say output fields. And we're going to select the date, the subject line, the recipients, and the AI analysis. All right. We're going to go ahead and test this. So now we have another 16 items. And what we're going to do once again is aggregate them into one item just by selecting, instead of individual fields, all data into one item. Great. So now we have all of our analysis as one. Now what we're going to want to do is here we don't even need the loop anymore. What we can do is we can actually remove this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to also remove this, because what we're going to do is we're going to create a Google Doc with this information. We could also, based off what we learned yesterday, create a Google slide deck so that you could have analysis meeting notes. We learned that, how to do Google Slides yesterday, but for this I'm just going to put it into a Google Doc. So we're going to go ahead here, we're going to create a document. And we're going to create a folder in our Travel Smart AI, and we're going to call this strategy. And I'm going to have it created here in the strategy folder. Let's see. Let's grab this folder ID from up here. For whatever reason, it's not showing up in the, maybe, hold on. It's not showing up in the, let me go out and back in. It's not showing that folder name, but you can always just put the ID as well just by doing this. Oh, it's saying create. Haha, get it. That's why. All right. Yes, we're going to want to create actually the doc. Why is this giving me an error? That value is not supported. We're going to say this is October analysis. And you could basically go in here and you could have it do that. But I don't want to see why it's not. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right. October analysis. Oh, it didn't create anything. All right. I was like, did that just work? It did not. It wasn't even connected to it. I don't even know what it added. So just a quick recap. What we did here is we are searching and we are getting our information from the transcripts. So meeting transcripts. We're going to go ahead and rename that right there. And then we're going to grab our get emails. And we're going to get the email analysis. Then these things are going to be aggregated into one. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to update this email, this prompt. And we're going to go over here and grab the prompt. All right. You are an AI assistant tasked with analyzing the past month's emails and meeting notes to identify recurring themes and strategic insights that could influence upcoming business strategies. Your analysis will help inform decision-making and strategic planning for the company. And then it goes in here, here's the emails. So we're going to go in here and we're going to add our emails and we're going to use, all right, we don't have the end, so we're going to use meeting notes. All right, we'll have to run this to bring it in. Let's do that. All right, it's not executing them. Let's do this one by one. Oh, it says it's still executing. All right, so grab the meeting transcripts. Great, we aggregate it. Now we grab the emails and we aggregate the emails. And now when we open this up, there we go. There's our aggregator. All right. So let's rename these so that they're easier to see. So instead of aggregate one, we're going to say all emails. And we're going to call this all transcripts. All right. So now when we go in here, we see all emails. And now we can just drag this over. And all we have to do is just drag this data to here. As you can see, it put all of the email analysis in there. And for meeting notes, I'm going to put the data from all transcripts. Don't know why that is red. So as we now analyze it, here are the instructions. So we want to review the content, carefully review through all the emails and meeting notes provided. Look for topics, issues, or concerns that appear multiple times across different communications. Analyze patterns and trends. Focus on significant changes, trends, or patterns that could have strategic implications for the business. Key areas to focus on: customer feedback or concerns, market trends or shifts, competitive actions or threats, internal challenges or opportunities, financial. We don't have some of these things, so we don't want it to hallucinate. This is brought over from one of mine, which we can build off of later. But customer feedback, concerns, competitive actions, or threats, we don't really have that. Internal challenges or opportunities, product or service development ideas, we're going to say close sales up. We'll just say close sales meetings. Of course, this is very, what are you looking on? What are you focusing on? This is where you can put it like, hey, this quarter I'm focusing on these things. Analyze all my meetings based off of that. That's how you can keep your team all going in the same direction and make sure that no one's veering not too far off course. All right. And then basically it says, hey, this is how we want you to provide your analysis with this kind of format here. So now when I run this, let's go back over, and this should create a document. And I'm going to delete this. Well, before I do that, I'm going to play this, and that should create our summary or our analysis of the quarter. All right, now we have our text from this, and we're going to go ahead and create it. And then we have docs. I forgot. You have to then update a document. Let's hit preview, play. Now we can take the ID to here. We have the options. We're going to add text here at the end, and the text we're going to bring over is the text from here, from the basic LLM chain. All right, now if we test that step, all right. So now we have this October analysis, and look at there. Analysis of emails and the meeting notes. So some recurring themes, customer feedback. So a significant number of emails and discussion revolved around customer concerns regarding product quality and service responsiveness. Interesting. Multiple emails highlighted customer dissatisfaction with product delivery times, noting that this has led to an increase in complaints. This does not look correct because I don't believe that this has anything about travel in it. I think that this is a hallucination. Let's take a look at this. So what we're going to do is we are going to delete this, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to run this whole thing again and make sure that it's actually working correctly. So here it's running, and then we should see a document pop in here, and we go in here. All right. So, and these are basically here. Let me just look at the transcripts. Yep. These are, okay. This is accurate analysis. So here, in an email from a customer state, I waited 2 weeks for a response regarding my issue, and it's still unresolved. This is affecting my business operation. So for me as a business leader, I can get that immediately. I can be, what's going on here? What's happening? Multiple clients have expressed frustration with the service delays, and it has impacted customer retention if not addressed. And basically, the theme suggests the need for improved customer service protocols, possibly investing in training or customer service representatives, or utilizing customer relationship management. Apparently, there's a theme of shift to remote work. Discussions frequently centered around the challenges and advantages of transition to remote work, including productivity and team collaboration. It's funny that the mock data had a transition to remote work. So here, this suggests the company may need to enhance digital collaboration tools, market expansion strategies. So it goes into this, the importance of agility in operations. There's been a prevalent acknowledgement of the necessity for adaptability in operations to respond to market changes swiftly. So one of the best things is when you actually put this through real data, your real transcripts. This will bring out tons of really valuable information for you. It's been one of the biggest game changers in both my personal development, because I use these AI bots that we've learned today as my coach, my mentor. I've included them with different personality evaluations, things like that, to really look at where your blind sides are, where you can really improve. I think that's one of the really big beneficial things we can get from AI, because it's hard to get very candid feedback that you don't believe has other hidden bias or something behind it. And with AI, it's just saying, hey, these are some improvements. And it's kind of hard to get mad in an AI when it's like, you really need to change what you're doing here. So I think that these systems of analyzing large amounts of data and creating summary reports will be a game changer for your business. So this week we learned a bunch about sales automations, and then next week we're going to be focusing on advanced marketing automation. So these are going to be really taking what we did last week in Intro to Content Marketing. We're going to be using this for doing things like advanced marketing strategy planning, how to brainstorm a concept and have an entire campaign generated with the press of a button. How do you take your one form of content and repurpose it into social media posts, blogs? How do you take live streams and create other pieces of content? How do you then research and fact check your content to make sure that what you're saying is accurate and true? We're also going to be going over content optimization and how you can utilize AI to optimize your content and make sure that it's not generic, that it's on brand, and it's constantly getting better. So using some of the same techniques we learned today to optimize your content as well. And then we're going to really dig into Canva and how to create really engaging social media graphics. So you learning everything from our content creation sidekicks and what we learned in our image generation session, putting them together to create Canva templates and really different types of multimedia and social media graphics. So join me in the next 5 days. We're going to be talking about advanced marketing automations. And once again, if you believe this content is valuable and I never know how to end these things. So please share it, like it, subscribe, do whatever. Thank you. Bye.